Hi, I'm Seth Marinello, and I was the lead designer for Psychonauts 2, at least towards the end. And this is Jeff Solis.
Jeff Solis. I was the lead environment artist on Psychonauts 2.
Today, we're going to be looking at a lost portion of Psychonauts 2, a lost level, perhaps. The beginning of the Quarry.
Yeah, it's not really lost because it still existed in the game, right? But in a much different form. This was back when everything was in the same world. So like, there were no level loads between the exterior and the interior. So like, there were parts that had like dog legs and, you know, old environmental tricks, so the game can load as you're running towards it. Because, you know, I'm sure as everybody saw when the cutscene it was starting, it was loading in the entire quarry as that happened. So.
Yeah. In fact, to sort of show that, because this switch doesn't work right now in the game flow, we're actually just going to debug fly out over here, just to take a look at the quarry, because we'll eventually get to looking at Psychonauts headquarters and stuff like that, but I think like for today, we're just gonna focus on the
there'll be an awesome
quarry
moment
space.
here where you hit the trigger volume to load everything, and it'll just be like, blah, there you go.
Yep. Yeah.
It's very nice of you to just not fly directly through all the geometry.
Yeah. I'll go through the hole. Yeah. So yeah, this is the space that we just saw outside, and you know, if you've played Psychonauts 2 in the shipping version, you know, definitely the jet is outside of Psychonauts headquarters, and it does have the same sort of general shape. But there's a lot going on in this space. So do you remember what y'all were kind of trying to accomplish when you're putting this together?
I think that there was just this idea of there needing to be a ton of like nooks and crannies for collectibles and things to collect, because that's primarily what this entire space is. There's some spaces in here that have the like these machines that have combat in them, like tiny little combat areas.
I believe there's one down there, and then there's one in this cave.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, not that cave. There are like 3 caves in here, and actually we'll go into the big underground one, but I'm trying to find
that's the space that leads to the testing site. That used to be that is an actual lost level that doesn't exist anymore.
And this is in front of where the psycho-isolation chamber was I believe, supposed to be at this time. Where the heck is that cave? This is actually the thing about this map.
So many caves in here.
There are so many different things in here, yeah. Well, I guess we can just go down into the big one.
Yeah, go down there.
Because this one...
I think it has like an extended sliding sequence.
Yes. Yeah, so this is one of the little nooks. It has this sliding sequence you can go into here. And we drop down into Fogland.
I think this might have been an actual bug at the time.
I think it's just like our general like height fog stuff or whatever.
Yeah. I know there was one more version of this before we... oh God, there's a lot of...
Yeah. There are a lot of little things in here. There's lots of nooks and crannies. It's very dense. I actually really enjoy some of these weird little interactions that you guys all built in here. Like this little thing just goes into a slide, and if you jump off it at the right time, you can actually get up there.
Yeah.
And then over here, there's this giant tunnel. How do I air bubble again in this one? I think it's... There we go.
That is exactly the reason why we removed it.
Yeah.
It's because the camera gets super awkward in there.
Yeah, is this gonna work if I side blast it? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you can side blast and make a new way out of that tunnel coming back up into here. But at the time, you were kind of working on kits, I believe. I might be standing on a part of that right now.
Everything in here is basically a kit, and everybody loved to use it because it does what a kit does. It allows you to put everything together, but then unfortunately, it led way to a lot of like repetition, and not even the kind of repetition you can sort of like wave your hand over by putting decals on top of or props or anything like that.
Yeah. I think this is this space right here is an interesting example of kind of an issue that we had early on, right? Like I've now like gone down underground, possibly had a combat encounter, done a bunch of platforming, come out of the fog, blow away out into here, into this platform I couldn't get at previously. And then I come into this tree. And in this tree, I go across it, up, around, bounce back over here, and then slide down and then get up here and finally get to this goat. Yeah. And then I can go like to these other paths. And we, kind of early on, particularly in the hub, I think we had this thing where there were just so many overlapping paths that it was filled with great ideas, like stuff that I really, really loved. Like it was really hard for me to get rid of some of the stuff that's in here later on, but like it was very hard to kind of understand even where you were.
Yeah, and that's the other part with kits, is that it doesn't really help that you can like stand in one spot and everything kind of looks the same, and then like, go somewhere else and it's like, oh well, it's all gray rocks or like brown wood, and it just lends itself to being confusing,
And certainly later when I had started working on this, I ended up keeping some of these sections, but added in even more caves, which was probably completely unnecessary. But there's all these sorts of like fascinating little nooks, like this underside is like a whole little universe under here with flowing water. And then up here, there's all these ruins. But yeah, I do love the viewpoint in here.
Yeah, I mean, the other problem with this space being so big, besides like having to do custom art for it all, is just that it gets confusing. And then also we were like, even at this point, and this is early in the game where you don't want to have performance problems, we were having performance problems.
Yeah.
Like it runs super smooth now on a modern computer, but we're talking like this was almost 10 years ago at this point when we were working on this.
This version of the Quarry was really trying to drive that idea home that they had been expanding and building this base, and everything was kind of like a little ramshackle and like half finished.
Yeah.
I guess before because we have other versions of this because it went through a lot of iterations. I guess I should have said at the very beginning of this, I think this is 2017, maybe?
Maybe?
Something like that?
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Because this was still pretty early in the development.
Yeah. Ooh, what's this gonna do?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, something's wobbling on a physics constraint. So I think we should probably get out of here before Unreal explodes.
Yeah, or at least it launches you into infinity.
Let's get betas in here. So milestone 4. Yeah, so let's see what we got here.
Oh, that has.
Oh, so the main screen here is actually early version of Ford Mail Clerk.
Yep.
So this must be, I think that was our first visual target.
Yeah.
Let's do a level select and let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah, so hub is still just hub.
Yeah.
I really want to look at some of these Fords, but we'll get there. Okay, so.
There's starting to be some art in here.
Oh, yeah, hey. There's that in there. Okay, great. Okay, so this
is... you can see we've pulled in a lot of this space at this point. Like, there's still a bunch of stuff in here, but like one whole side of the quarry we've basically gotten rid of, essentially. Like there was all of these caves over on this side, they're all gone now.
Yeah, this is the first version that I worked on.
Yes.
Something that we dealt with previously we were kind of talking about was that it was kind of hard to orient in this space.
Yeah, there were no landmarks around the area for you to like stand in a spot and look in a direction and like know where to go.
Yeah, but I was still a little too scared of like redoing everything that people had thought of. So my idea had been, let's just like nuke one of the walls so there's at least like a direction that you can, base everything off of. And so I just added in this terrain hill. But yeah, there's all kinds of weird scale shit. Like, what the hell is this structure? And like, why is Raz? I don't know,
Yeah.
I probably just scaled everything.
You don't worry about that at this point. There's a bunch of wild scale in here.
Oh, there's like dangerous spikes over there. I guess maybe I was trying to move the test site idea into the quarry. I can't remember.
Yeah, because I think we'd cut the test site already.
Yeah. For people that are kind of like, we're watching the development of Psychonauts 2 like live, in early 2018, we ended up realizing that we needed to cut the second hub, like the whole going to Grolovia thing.
Yeah.
So we had to resequence the whole game, and that was a lot of early 2018 was kind of like adapting the game to be all centered around one physical real world location.
Yeah.
Except for Hollis, where you go to the casino.
Yeah.
Other than that. But yeah, so this right here was the Psycho Isolation Chamber. And I actually think if we go in here, we can actually see this weird like Star Wars.
Yeah, I think it's the, yeah.
Yeah.
Glass tubes to like acoustic baffling, which that kind of persisted.
Well, I was trying to do a thing where these would extend out or something like that.
Yeah.
This was again like an early space that like I think I had just inherited.
Yeah. This was back when we were doing like, what were we calling it? Representative block mesh. Where it was a piece of art that was just gray.
If we load test level, let's see. There should be the character light test. Let's go see where we were at the time
Yeah.
with this. Oh, it's actually,
Yeah, there's a fair amount.
there's a lot of characters here at this stage. So, and I think that we actually had shared some of this with people
Yeah, we don't have any of the randos
publicly
yet.
at this point.
I think that's...
Oh, so this
that's
must
the
be an
goblin
early version
guy.
of the, this might be an early version of the Nightmare.
Yeah.
This is the Bad Mood, but at the time was called Wendy, I think?
yeah.
Like a wizard type
Yeah,
character.
that was the judge.
This is the judge, I think was called Dwayne.
Uh-huh.
Something like that. And yeah, so here's an early version of the Bad Mood and things. These are not Quarry relevant, but hey, look, it's using assets from the Quarry and the skybox from it, so like it can be in this video. It's,
All of those people exist in the Quarry, most of them.
Yeah. Squirrel, everybody in here. Yeah, so we were starting to get things going, but it looks like we just don't have Compton sorted out yet. No. Let's get the heck out of this build and travel into the future once more. And I'm just gonna go to 6. I'm not quite sure the overall change between these, but this is as you get to the end of 2018, early 2019, and we were kind of thinking of the game as alpha at the time.
Yeah.
And we had tried to do this thing, and where we had the whole game stood up, including all the features, even if things were really rough and broken.
Yeah.
And we just did not realize how far we were from the end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a moment during that time where I was like, okay, how long do we have to put art into every one of these levels before we ship? And this is like, I think our ship date was going to be 2019 or something like that. It was like, it was like a year out, and I was like, okay, let me figure out how much time we have per level. And it was like, we have 2 weeks to get it to each level to shippable, and that was, if there was one person, that's how much it would be. And it's like, well, that's not a lot of time.
Yeah. When we get to the HQ interior video, we can look at, because I remember you like did all of the art in the HQ interior in like a week.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we're like, and that's too big. And we got rid of it all.
Yeah. So we got to go to load a level. Okay. So at this point, at least the hub interior and exterior have been broken up.
Yeah.
So I made HQIN be a separate map because we realized that was insane. But this is going to be another evolution. I'm going to skip the remainder of this cutscene because there's just a bunch of characters flapping at each other.
Voice and it's nonsensical.
But hey, so we got art for the outside of the lab that made it all the way through.
Yep, that's there till the end. I think, is the Psycho Isolation Chamber still behind the building? I think it is.
Yeah, so this is actually, that's a really good thing to bring up of like, at this stage, we're really like, we're under pressure to get the entire game stood up. We were trying to solve problems without redoing everything completely. So you'll note that like the building up there is no longer a giant wooden ramshackle structure.
Monstrosity.
Yeah, so it's this like little, it's supposed to be this thing that's like a gift shop that's like the entrance/exit to the questionable area, like it was like a national park or something like that.
The questionable area was always like a roadside attraction, but this is sort of like further expanding that idea of what it is.
Yeah, we made Levi do some concepts of this, and you know, you can see I was still trying to keep that the platforming that was underneath the old section.
Yeah.
Is still here, but there's this whole like mining thing here, and you could go up, and then we'll just go up here. Because yeah, so there's basically like this was a connection, but this is like probably the only version of this that this ever existed in. I think we might have made a stub for it, but we ended up blowing up this whole space.
That whole side specifically, because we replaced all of the mines over there with the cycle isolation chamber.
Yep.
And then just made that like this crevasse into a cave that transitions into the QA.
Yeah. And you'll see that like I'd already kind of begun the trimming.
Yeah.
Like that giant cave we went in earlier when we slid down.
Yeah, that's all gone at this point.
Yeah. And this is where the weird plant is, and this is actually a thing in the real game.
Yeah, that made it all the way through.
Yeah, this little cave.
Will spent a lot of time making that whole space look real pretty.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, you can see the ground being all black here. That was just like this random bug in that version of Unreal where you just get a random square of the stomp.
The stomp,
yeah.
and it just squishes it. It was just a really good feature. Yeah. No, Will did a lot of stuff, and yeah, you guys were dealing with a lot of weird bugs, huh?
At this point, yeah, because I think we just upgraded. It was like 4.7 to 4.8 or something like that. I don't know. Someone's going to tell me I'm wrong based off of the date, but but yeah, it had some like really odd bugs. You can see where it's just these like squares of black on the terrain, and it was.
Yeah, because we got to get out here. So this little friend right here. Fishing buddy.
Oh, is fishing still in the game at this point?
Oh yeah.
It was a thought extractor, right? Or idea extractor. Yeah.
Yes.
Also fish.
Yeah. Just go out here and
mash that trigger.
And you could take them to a fish tank or the think tank.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, it was the think tank.
In headquarters, and you could see all the fish that you'd collected.
The fish made it all the way to the end of the game. There were a ton of fish, and we're like, well, we made all of these stupid fish. Might as well put them in the game. And so the fish tank is full of all of the fish that we made.
Yeah, where Coach appears.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, where's mental connection? So, this was this idea that we had switched mental connection to be like this.
Yeah,
which is more
still not the
like,
final version, but it's closer.
More like the shipping version of the game.
Yeah. There's the first version of the clubhouse was.
Oh yeah. This is the early version of the radio.
Yep.
Yeah, so at this point there are all these little custom, or all the writing for the different interns, like what they're supposed to be doing in each phase.
Yeah, this version is much closer to the final version of what the Quarry ended up being. But you can still see a lot of the guts of it, but also a lot of stuff that we ended up taking out as well.
Yeah, and in here, so. I was like obsessed with these rotating platforms, I guess. I don't know what my problem was.
Well, part of the problem with these platforms too is that you could just bypass a lot of it by just sprinting and jumping.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we took a lot of them out, because it was just like, okay, well.
Someday we can show some more of this, but there was a power that did not ship in the game called Brainstorm.
Yep.
And in the real world, it would scramble people, but we kind of had the idea that you could like create this little bit of mental energy and it could shock things, and then turn on machines and stuff like that for a limited period of time.
Yeah.
So there's a few different things like that. And then here's like another version of mental connection where you can still connect those. And this right here would be a fishing hotspot.
Yeah.
Like a little.
And you get special fish.
Yeah, a little treasure. So there's a bunch of those things around in here. But yes, with us having some limited time, we should probably hop on, even though this one's really fun. But I think one thing I did want to point out here that you said at the very beginning was Psycho Isolation Chamber being behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really wasn't a very good design.
No.
Yeah, so that's something we definitely had to fix. And this was like, at this stage, like I had been really scared of like, oh yeah, hey, we have to ship this game in like less than a year.
Yeah.
We cannot start over on this. We have cutscenes that are laid out, like that whole intro cutscene where they're coming out of the jet. I was like, we can't change the space that much. We can't move things. Like it was just really, I was really scared. So you came out and then the place you needed to go was
Directly behind you.
behind a waterfall.
Yeah.
Like it was like the furthest place it could possibly be from you, but we were just kind of like, oh, we just don't have the time.
We'd also done a lot of internal playtesting at that point, and people were like, I don't know where the hell to go. Like everybody on the team would get stuck at this point because they're like, I need to go to the psycho-isolation chamber and I can't find it.
Yeah. It was really confusing. And again, like it was one of those things that I really feel like we had levels that were confusing.
Yeah.
And we're kind of being like, hey, Art, can you fix this for us? And the answer was,
yeah.
maybe?
There was we were still trying to find our footing at that point, you know, like a lot of stuff we had thrown out, like saying thrown out is like a misnomer. It was like you realize that this stuff is either not necessary or actually making the game more difficult and not a good user experience, right? It's like not that it's bad, it's just that it's bad for the player in the context of the game, you know? Like the actions you do are fun, but they're not fun when you pair them with like trying to find a clear path or trying to like, you know, make sure the player knows where they're going and they feel smart about going to those locations, right?
Yeah.
And like that's what a lot of all of this is like it's not like we're throwing it away because it's just like we don't know what we're doing. It's like we're doing it because we're trying to make the game better, and you can't, like no one is awesome enough to just be like one and done, slam, that's it.
Because so contextually, while this thing is downloading, just while we got here, so after kind of the version of the Quarry that we just looked at, a lot of people, you went off and worked on the E3 build of Lobato, right?
Yes.
And that was something that you were actually kind of like leading a lot of that strike team for a while.
Yeah, that basically made it all the way through to shipping.
Yeah.
Even the like intro space where you're like sort of flying over the brain
cubicles,
that becomes the cubicles, and the inside baseball on that is that it's all brute force. Like it's just an entirely modeled brain that becomes, it's a big, long, super long, just piece of geometry. That the camera flies over.
And as you were doing some of that stuff, there's some learnings that you took from the process of doing Quarry and stuff like that in the kit building, right? That you were applying to Lobato?
Yeah, some of the kit building stuff. Like the problem with Psychonauts is that it doesn't really lend itself to kit bashing because like, you know, every brain is different. You can't make a bookcase kit. You can, and we did, but it's only applicable to like a very small level, right? Like you can't use it across the entire game, which is most of what making kits are for, right?
Yeah.
But like with a game like Psychonauts, where every brain, and you can press.
Oh yes.
Yeah, every brain is sometimes a completely different art style. You know, like if you're looking at Helmet, right?
Yeah.
It's all of the shading is completely different in that level compared to the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's really tricky about Psychonauts is like trying to apply what on any other game would be like the smart way to do things actually ends up making it less Psychonauts.
Yeah, or more difficult to make, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like trying to go, okay, well I have a tree and we're putting it into hair forge, so I'm going to change the material so it looks like hair, but now it just looks like garbage.
Yeah. So this version right here that we're going to look at this is much further along. Unfortunately, we don't have the builds kind of in the middle, but I think we can at least really quickly look at the space.
All of this is like, you know, obviously it's like not as polished as the shipped version, but all of this stuff is basically the final version. Right?
Yeah.
Like, the psycho-isolation chamber is in the right spot. We remove the waterfall all the way completely around to the other side of the quarry, so it's off.
Yeah, it's over here. Yeah. So yeah, people that have played the shipping game will know this is just much, much closer. And the biggest thing that we were trying to accomplish was you know, essentially this shot. Oh yeah, so this is getting much more arted and stuff like that. So it is, we unfortunately have a little bit of a gap in the builds that we kind of have available, but like, you know, just for, you know, continuity between things, like this little cave right here with this weird plant in it is that evolution of that, just kind of going through all the stuff we looked at today. This entrance was originally the thing that went to that giant slide, and I kept moving it and recontextualizing it, and then finally someone went in there and did some nice art. Like you were saying, Will went and did this, and put in the little light effects and everything. And this is actually, I think, just before the pandemic, probably. Like this feels like what—
It was definitely close. I remember getting the quarry almost finished. There was like a good, 7-8 months or something like that, where all of this stuff got a lot closer to what the shipping version was. Because the quarry and the QA and the old base.
Yeah.
What did we call it again?
The old, I called it the old colony early on. Yeah.
And that kind of stuck.
It became Green Needle Gulch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, as a thing we call it is not the thing that it actually ships as.
Yeah.
Brutal Legend, I still call them all Group A, B, and C.
Oh, yeah.
And D.
Yeah. So I think we got to wrap everything up here.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, it's always nice to check in on the quarry and just, you know, make sure that it's still working.
Yeah. Because didn't always work.
Yeah. Went through a lot of revisions. Thank you for watching us go down memory lane here and look at the first of a series of lost level videos that we're hoping to do, kind of exploring all of the fun little nooks and crannies that we kind of lost along the way in the development of Psychonauts 2, or something like that.